Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm a PhD student in Sweden. I live with my family and I make educational and informational videos about studies and lifestyle in Sweden. Today we're going to hang out with some Erasmus Mundus scholars and we're going to ask them about how they got their scholarship. We're going to ask them about the process, their motivation, and they're going to share us some tips. So if you want to know more, stay tuned.
Hi everyone, I'm Victoria Wachi and of course I'm a Ghanaian, and then I'm currently pursuing European Master in Social Work with Families and Children. I'm in my final year and I'm so excited to be here.
Yay! Okay.
Hi everyone, my name is Frederick Godwill Enisa from Ghana. I'm also reading the same course as Victoria, European Masters in Social Work with Families and Children. I'm also in my final year working my thesis. I'm excited to be here and stay glued.
Yes. Thank you so much. So we'll start with, so you tell us, how is educational style in all these three countries? Can you?
I think the lecturers were quite welcoming, and then they are very experienced. And then the first one is Vishanti, and then this lady has written a lot of articles, and then she has served on so many committees, and she was really knowledgeable with what she was teaching. So, well, I think that that really helped me to learn a lot, and then it was quite different from I'll say that the educational style was quite different from the Ghanaian contest. It was said that it was more participatory, so it wasn't directional, and then you could even interact with the lecturer whilst the lecturer is teaching. And then aside from that, the lecturers don't even want to be addressed with a title or something like that,
like professor,
yes,
or doctor,
and all. Yes. And then it was also, the other bit was that everything you say also makes sense. Everything you say makes sense.
Even when it doesn't make sense.
Even when it doesn't make sense.
To encourage you, yeah.
So it's like the responsibility is on you to know what
what is actually making sense.
Yes, and then what you actually take out.
What about Sweden?
So initially, with the lectures that we had here, we were having it on campus, but then that was shortly replaced with the Zoom lectures, and then that gave the class a different feeling altogether. Made it a bit impersonal for me.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yet comfortable and then convenient as well. So, yeah, but then aside from that, in terms of the content and the educational system here, or let me say the university had very good content, and then they had well-resourced lecturers who were very knowledgeable in the different subjects like children in adverse life situations and then the others. So I think that really helped me to learn a lot in it.
So currently you're working on your thesis. Okay. So can you tell me some things you liked about traveling to Europe and some things you hate? Maybe you can talk about Portugal and then you talk about Norway and then Sweden briefly. What you liked. You start.
What I like about traveling?
Yeah, to Portugal first.
Like the experience in the various countries. Well, I was enthused, about the transport system. It's really nice. In Portugal, you have aside the bus, you have the tram, you have the train, and the subway. Like it's almost the same thing. But the subway is underground train. Yeah, it really works well, and it's really nice to be underground. Finding your routes to school and all that. It's quite good. And I also liked the cost of living. It was quite affordable. At the time, it was really expensive, but looking back, now, comparing prices, you could 20 euros in Portugal could feed you for like a week or two. But in Sweden, 20 euros can buy bread, a crate of egg, milk, tomato,
Yeah.
yeah. So
It can last only 3 days.
yeah, 3 days back. So
3 days only for breakfast.
yeah. Life in Norway and Sweden. Norway is the worst. Norway is the worst. Really, really expensive. So as transport, cost of living, what I liked, particularly about Portugal, was because there were a lot of Africans. But the sad thing was that they were Portuguese-speaking Africans.
Oh, okay.
Most of these people couldn't, like 95% couldn't speak English. So it was really difficult to making friends. Another thing I like about, and this one will cut across all the countries, is like the training facilities to keep fit, to exercise, to play football. It's really nice. It's really nice. It's a nice feeling. In Norway, was there any particular thing I liked? I don't really know any particular thing I liked about Norway. I think I was so much in love with Portugal. It was really nice. I don't think the Norwegian. It is a nice place. Like when in Stavanger, a small town, where it's a nice place. But I think.
And in Portugal, where were you?
Lisboa.
Lisboa.
Yeah.
You're mentioning it in the Portuguese way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in Sweden, you are in
Göteborg.
Gothenburg.
The Ghanaian Union in Norway made the place really cool. And then there was this Pan-African Students Union, PASU. That was some people. I missed them. They made life quite good for us because we had Tuesdays come through and chill. We had some nice stuff. You could get to know a lot of people. So it was good. So
the things you hated?
The weather.
So cold.
The weather in Norway and Sweden. I took ill during my first week in Norway. Yeah, it was very bad. I thought I was going to. I didn't know I was going to make it because I was very ill. Yeah, but by God's grace, I got better.
The weather. Oh my God.
So the weather, the food, and I think these Nordic people, they are cold because of their weather. They are cold. They are not open.
It's hard to make friends.
It's hard to make friends. They don't open up. Yeah, but it's fun. It's fun here because there are a lot of Ghanaians. You meet people. It's good. Yeah, it's good. And then one challenge regarding cost of living is accommodation. Finding accommodation.
Yes.
In Sweden.
Yeah, it's a big problem in Sweden.
Apartments, like it's difficult to get a place, and when you get, it's really, really expensive.
Yes.
So that's a problem.
It's easier to buy a house than to rent. What about you?
It's like we live the same experience.
So you have similar.
Yeah.
So you agree with all that he said?
Yes. For me, Norway, one thing that caught my attention was the system. The system is built on trust, and then there's reciprocity. And then I say this because one time I overpaid for something, and then I went to their office, and then I was thinking that I would be maybe challenged or told that we can't do this for you. But then the moment they realized that I had overpaid, they just paid back to me. And then for me, I think that is something that I like about them.
They're very, very honest. And
yes,
they don't make a big deal out of returning something or telling the truth.
Yes, and then even for Easter, they had these packages they brought to their students, like with food items and other things. And
we are kind of wrapping up. So, what kind of tips do you have for people who want to get Erasmus Mundus scholarship and come and study?
Just a few things.
In Europe.
Just a few things. Believe in yourself. Be very intentional when you are applying. In your motivational letter, know what you're about. They are not interested in a lot of grammar. You should be as concise as possible. You should be as practical as possible. And make sure you don't submit on a deadline. Yeah, I think they give preference to first come first serve. Yeah, so like when there's a tie, they can look at that. If both of if you are put on a waiting list, or they want to put people on a waiting list, and there's a tie, there are other things they consider. At the time, it was on their website. So make sure the point is, make sure you you open your application early. That's the first come first serve. It doesn't mean you should submit everything before middle of the month, but if they open the application within the first week of October, make sure that time you just start your application, just create your account, and that's it. And I wish everyone the best of luck.
How about you? For me, what I'll say is that when you see us speaking to you, and that should be an indication that we can also get the program. So it is motivation. It is not something that is so overwhelming for you to get. It's something that is quite easy. And like Frederick said, you have to be more intentional. Usually the temptation is that most people go online and then they look at what people have written with the motivational letter and then they replicate it. So in that process, they lose that sense of who they are is out or is missing. And then I think that is what gives you that competitive advantage over a whole lot of people. So I think that in as much as you can take inspiration from what others have written, make sure that you are intentional and make sure that at the end of the day, maybe what you can always ask yourself is that I won't be there to speak for myself, but then if my paper is what is going to represent me, I mean your motivational letter or your personal statement, then make sure that you give that motivational letter the voice so that even when you are not there, it can speak for you. And then also know that the whole application process is not just about getting it, but then after getting it, there is a process. So you need to also be saving as much as you can, especially even if you are doing your national service. Make sure that you save so that when the admission comes in, or you'll be able to foot some of the expenses that come as well. And then make sure you're always checking the websites as well. And then I also say that whenever you're applying for this particular program, you should look at the main themes of the program. It's looking at children, and Frederick said it's been changed, so it's children and youth. So make sure that even when you're writing your letter, your statement of purpose, and make sure that every experience you give, you hinge or you tilt it on to the child and then the youth.
Yeah, so you have to look at the theme of the program
to stay relevant within the context of the theme.
Motivational letter, okay. So thank you very much for your big advice. It's very important advice. And I think about the financial aspect. Before you travel, you're not giving any of the money before you come. So you have to get some money, maybe for the bank or from your aunties, or if your parents can help you with that, because when you come to Europe, you'll be there for about 3 months, living on your own money before the money is paid out. And when it's paid out, then you'll be free. You can pay back all your loans. So remember that part.
But please, the money is really important because aside the stipends, they give you money for all your trips.
So they give you back. Yeah.
So they give you like 7,000 euros in total for just the trips,
for
all the trips you do over the 2-year period. And then aside that, the 1,000 euro monthly stipends.
All right. So what are your next steps after your masters? Are you going back to Ghana? Are you considering PhD, job, whatever? What's in the pipeline?
Ghana.
Because you're almost done with your thesis.
This is a big question.
Okay.
And I want to do my PhD, and hopefully after that, I can think of going back to Ghana to settle.
Yeah, well, I am more academic. So
everyone is academic. Oh my God! Ghana should be expecting more professors.
Of course, I can't go to Ghana now because I can't think of pursuing my PhD in Ghana. Not because of the content, but I think financial implications with that too. I intend to further here and then explore opportunities here as well. So that's it.
And what are you working on for your thesis?
So I'm working on problematic school absenteeism. Specifically, I'm exploring the perspectives of social workers who work with children with problematic school absenteeism. So, yeah.
Sweden children?
Yeah, children in Sweden.
Okay. Okay. Alright, nice. How about you?
I'm also exploring the lived experiences of young caregivers and young caregivers, persons who have left alternative care. Alternative care meaning state care, people who have been put in residential homes. Like different authors put it differently. So if you say institution, they could mean differently. So children, I want to look at children who have been in residential homes, like shelters, orphanages, group homes, all those, who have been reintegrated, taken back to their families, you know. The young caregivers, and how they experience the process of reintegration, what they understand by reintegration, challenges, coping mechanisms, and all that. Because, I think.
Which country are you going to do this in?
Ghana.
In Ghana,
of course. I want to know more about my context and see how I can affect policy and practice in the future.
Wow, interesting topics that you are working on. You guys are real social workers. Thinking about things that are really close to the heart of children and families, people in difficult situations, who really need social help, right? So, I hope you enjoyed this conversation, hanging out with Erasmus scholars.
With us.
Yeah, so I hope you learned a lot, and then you are more encouraged to take the big step in applying. It's not so difficult and it's not so far away from you. I'll leave the descriptions.
Easy.
Yes.
And then you don't necessarily need to have social work for you to do this. Even if you have sociology or other related courses like anthropology and all that, psychology, you can.
Yes, and there are a lot of other Erasmus Mundus programs, a lot of them that I talked about in my last video. I'll leave the link below in the description box. And so, depending on where your field, you can search for which field suits you, then you apply. Yes, so thank you so much for watching and staying and tagging along. Make sure you subscribe. You are watching a lot of people are watching, but they are not subscribing. I don't understand. Subscribe and join the family. Join this network of success. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, Dwo.
Hey, Dwo.
Yes.
Thank you guys for watching this video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you want me to do more videos, subscribe. If you want to be notified for next videos, hit the notification bell. And adios. Hey, Dwo. BCS.